deepening into the experience of fun, flow, ease, play, and trust. Inside of Quantum Illumination Reiki certification program, we talk about this a lot. This is a mantra: fun, flow, ease, play. And then we've recently, well, I say recently, but last summer added in trust. Because here's the thing, I want to be transparent with you today. I want to share with you something that's on my heart. And I want you to think about this through the lens of where it is that you're not seeing yourself in this for you as well. Because when it comes to QIR, it's not just about healing modalities. This is a way of living. It's a way of leading. It's a becoming. It's a coming home to you, to your soul essence. It's a remembrance. And we do that through fun, flow, ease, play, and trust. But the real test is, can you return to this energy, this frequency, even when, and especially when life feels challenging, or you meet a roadblock, or you are feeling frustration, right? And so there are seasons where, yes, of course, fun, flow, ease, play, and trust feels so natural. And there are also seasons where you need to consciously choose them. And so let me just share a behind the scenes with you right now. I'm building at a high level right now. We are finalizing big things behind the scenes. We've completed level 3 of our Quantum Illumination Reiki certification program. We've officially been a world-renowned certification program for over a year now, officially. And I'm also building out our teacher licensing program behind the scenes. And yesterday, I noticed, or even like a little bit last week, I noticed I was not in fun. I was not in flow. I was not in ease. I was not in play. I was not in trust. And I was like, I had to pause yesterday, and I actually laughed so hard at myself yesterday as I was driving home from the gym, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm over here teaching fun, flow, ease, play, and trust, but am I actually in that energy myself? And isn't it always interesting? Sometimes the things that we deeply embody and teach are sometimes the things that we forget when something comes up, right? And this is where the leaning in comes in as well. But I had to pause after I left, of course, and I had to ask myself, how do I lead myself back to the frequency that I teach? Because QIR did not come through force. It didn't come through hustle or grinding. There was no way for me to make this happen. I had to let it happen, right? When I was channeling Quantum Illumination Reiki, it was really about surrender. Fun, flow, ease, play, and trust. And literally the way QIR came in was through those ways. And I know it couldn't have happened any other way, but as somebody that doesn't have a whole, like, I love to go, I love to be in motion. I'm a Gemini Sun, Aries rising, Manny, Jen, and human design. I've got energy for days most of the time, and I like to go. I like to like follow the energy and move. And this was a really big lesson and game of patience and being in this frequency that I teach: fun, flow, ease, play, and trust. And I realized, as I've been working on the teacher licensing program over the last month behind the scenes, and we're finalizing some details, and I'm getting ready to record the actual lessons. I already know what the lessons are, but I had to pause on this because I've had some other things come through that I was like, ooh, actually, I've got to wait for a green light on this. And it's not, and I was like, I really want to do this. But I realized as I was pushing through, I've got a visual coming through that I want to share with you. I'll share that in just a second. But as I was pushing through, I had to go back and I've had to tweak a couple of things, redo things. And I realized after some conversations with our attorney, I was like, oh, I've got to go back and fix some other things because we're doing this correctly, right? We're doing this through the lens of this gets to be done in a way that's for the highest and best good for all. And I was like, I'm actually keep mm, not even a roadblock, but I keep trying to open a door. I try to pull open a door that's push, right? Have you ever done that before? Definitely done that. And it's like, that's not the door that I need to be opening right now. I just need to pause and wait for the answers to come and then move. The visual that was coming in is, and I was thinking about this morning because for me, Taurus season always feels so strange. It's very earthy. I do have earth in my chart, but it's so weird for me because it's like Aries season, like rah, rah, let's effing go. And then, on the other side of Taurus season, you've got Gemini season, which is my season, woo woo. And so we're like free and floaty. And I know not everybody loves every season, right? Taurus is one for me. Interesting because I have a child born in Taurus season. Both my parents are Taurus and my husband's grandpa are Taurus. So I love Taurus people, but the season itself feels like mud. And it's like, where is it that you are spinning out? Like you're spinning your wheels instead of gaining traction. Like you're spinning wheels and creating more mud instead of like just giving yourself an anchor point to ground, let things settle, have the foundations there. And then that's the traction that's going to propel you forward. And so this is leadership. Anyone can be in trust when everything is working. That's easy. Anyone can be playful when things feel light. Anyone can be in ease when there's no pressure. But who are you when it's uncomfortable? Who are you when timelines are stretched? And who are you when the outside world gives you zero evidence yet? Because a lot of what we do isn't even tangible, right? It's not seen unless that's one of your gifts or your codes. It's not seen with the eyes, it's felt experience. And I want to ask you, and I just want you to think about those today. And I want to ask you, where in your life are you not in fun, flow, ease, play, and trust? In your healing, in your business, could even be in your relationships, and how you're leading yourself day to day. I talk about this a lot with my clients, and this is one of my areas of expertise as well, is energetics mastery. It's not about one area, it's about many areas. Looking at all the areas in which you are operating in your life, your business. Just one thing is not separate from something else, right? Nothing is separate. Everything is energy. Energy is everything. We're all connected. We're all one. And when we stand in that knowingness, we if we're having situations show up in one area of our lives, it's useful to look at other areas of our lives and see how that's impacting as well. So it's like in your business, in your relationships, in your healing, and how you're leading yourself in the day to day, and the promises that you keep to yourself, and your nutrition, and what you're drinking, and what you're consuming, and are you holding true to what it is that you said you were going to do? Fun, flow, ease, play, and trust. Where are you not in those, and how can you get back into those? There was another season, in addition to just this whole channeling of QIR and bringing this to the 3D reality, right? But there was another season last year when I was building out officially our certification program with all of the lessons that I had typed out in a Google Doc, but I was bringing them to slides and making them all branded and leading people all over the world through the certification for the first time. And this trust was my deepest lesson. No one aside from our designer my husband and kids, of course. And my attorney had even seen the keys. And so the energy was felt through sessions, hundreds of testimonials over the years, and but no one had learned it yet. Actually, I taught my kids some of the basics too. They loved it. But I watched so many healers inside of our certification move through the same thing. Trust isn't random. And it does often it appears right before your expansion. So often. And so sometimes a season isn't asking for strategy. Though I love strategy, I am a strategy girly through and through. I always tell even I'm in mentorship as well, and I love to be in like masterminds and stuff. I love to put on my glasses and nerd out on strategy. I don't wear glasses, but you know what I mean, right? I love it. It is necessary. As a healer, it is necessary. We need to have that masculine structure, that masculine strategy as well. But sometimes a season isn't asking for more strategy. Sometimes it's asking for more trust, play. It's asking for more softness. Sometimes it's asking for more fun because things or energetically you've become too heavy or too serious. Sometimes it's finding the magic in a random Wednesday, so to speak. It's like getting out of your normal day to day and going and doing something just because you feel like it or your intuition is guiding you. And here's the thing. I was thinking about the butterfly effect of healing and Quantum Illumination Reiki's mission with the butterfly effect of healing and how this all ties in with it. And the butterfly doesn't flap its wings or doesn't only flap its wings when the weather is perfect. It's a perfect 75 and sunny, no humidity, or the perfect amount of humidity, right? It's like the perfect, like soft breeze, and it's just the perfect day, right? Whatever that might not be your perfect day, but can you tell what mine is? It moves in the rain. It moves in the wind. It moves when the sun is shining. It moves. It moves because it does. And it just keeps going. Because the butterfly effect is not conditional. When and when it comes to your power as well, that's not up for debate to be conditional either. When healers come inside this space, they're not only embodied when it feels easy, they're not just integrating when it feels easy. I read the check-ins every single week. I sit down every single Monday and I read the weekly check-ins, and I am in awe of the amazing powerhouse healers that are in there and what it is that they're moving through and how it is that their confidence builds through the time that they're in the certification, because it is absolutely phenomenal. But they're not only embodied when it feels easy, they choose embodiment even when it's hard. They return to their frequency even when it slips, even when lives or businesses, and they keep becoming. They keep coming home to them. They come closer and closer home to their soul essence. No, even when, but especially when things are challenging. Because it's easy to be in fun, flow, play, and ease when life and everything is like super easy, right? When things are chill. But the deepening of the embodiment, the return home to your soul essence, even more comes on even when you do it in the challenging times. And so, what do you need more of this week? And I want you to just think about this. Is it more fun, more flow, play, ease, trust? Maybe it's one. Maybe it's all five. You're like, actually, I'm having a moment and I need to come back to all of these. And it really does get to be that simple. It really does. I wish it was harder than this, and sometimes our mind wants to play games. I don't actually, let me say that differently. I'm retracting and redacting that statement. I don't wish it was harder. I think our brain thinks it's harder than it actually is, but it really is that simple. It really is that simple. Fun, flow, ease, play, trust. I just answered a question of a Q&A inside of our certification this week. It was around trust. And it was like, how do you build trust? How do you build trust within your abilities? How do you build trust within, the frequencies? How do you build trust within what you're feeling? Well, how do you build trust when you are in a new partnership with a loved one or you meet a new friend? It's no different. Remember, everything is energy. Energy is everything. It's all connected. It's all one. It really does get to be that simple. How you build trust with somebody is how you continue to build that relationship with them. You spend time with them. You get to know them. You ask them questions. You have outings. You get together. You let them show you they're trustworthy, right? Well, same thing with your abilities. It's 11:11 right now. Same thing with your abilities. Same thing with the frequencies. Same thing with your intuition. Same thing with the energy that you're feeling. Spend time with it. Spend time with you. Get to know it. Get to know the frequencies. Get to know your soul codes, your gifts. Let them show you when you use them and stack the proof as to how it actually is working. So, let me know how this landed. I would love to hear from you. I know that you're the type of healer who knows that healing gets to feel lighter. It doesn't have to get worse before it gets better. It doesn't have to be all dark night of the soul. Or someone asked me about psychic surgery on TikTok the other day. And I'm like, well, when I think of psychic surgery, I think about some of the things that go into it and how the client feels. And I was like, I actually think that there gets to be a better way to support our clients, to support those that we're here to lead and support. It gets to feel lighter. It does get to feel like fun, flow, ease, and play. If you know that you are here for the bigger mission, you can feel that whispering, that calling, that tug, that tapping at the window of your soul that there's something more. And you're ready to heal in 5D and not just be surviving in the 3D. It's kind of like the vision that just flashed in my mind is kind of like that spinning the tires in the mud, right? But you're ready to step into healing in the 5D, supporting your clients, supporting you in that 5D and the quantum. DM me quantum for the certification program details. Or if you know, I'll leave that information below as well. Sending you so much love. Have the most amazing day.